Hello everyone, in this video I'm going to go over the different export tools that we have for keeping and using our Schoology assessments in the future. So a reminder that Schoology has many different material types, and each of those are going to have different ways that we're going to back them up to ensure that we can use them in the future. For this video today, we're only going to be talking about Schoology tests, quizzes, and the Schoology assessments. So a reminder, in a previous video, I showed you how to save these resources from your courses to the resource section. So I recommend first organizing your assessments in your class into one folder, and then save that folder from your materials to your resources. You could also save the entire course if this is the first time you're teaching the course, or if you know that course is perfect. I also would make sure that you look at your resources section first before doing this to make sure that you're not adding an entire course of resources into more courses of resources. Try to be organized now to make things easier for yourself in the future. Again, the next steps for this would be to click on Resources, click that drop-down arrow, click on Export, and then you're going to choose the folder that you want to export out. That's why we want to make sure that things are organized first before we do so. Once things are ready, you'll go to your transfer history to find your IMSCC file and download it. Once you have these in your computer, this is where we start to use them into our new platforms. So for next school year, we're going to have Google Classroom, and we're also going to have Wayground. So we have some tools to use. The two main tools that we're going to talk about today are GetMarked and then tools that I've made on a Google site. GetMarked we will have for the next school year, and GetMark is a tool that allows you to convert assessments into other assessment types. So to explain this further, GetMarked will allow you to bring in a Google Doc, a PDF, a Microsoft Word file, Kahoots, Edpuzzles, all kinds of different files, including our Schoology exports, and then convert them into other assessment types. So you can take a Schoology export and turn it into a Wayground quiz. You could take a Google Doc and turn it into a Wayground quiz. Or you could take a Schoology assessment, turn it into a Wayground assessment. You could take a Kahoot and turn it into a Wayground version of like a Kahoot teacher-led activity. You can log into your Edpuzzle account through GetMarked and convert all of your Edpuzzles into Wayground video assessments. So GetMarked is all about converting assessments into other assessment types. So you can bring your Schoology things in, turn them into something else. So now what do my tools do? The first tool that I created will turn your Schoology tests, quiz, or assessments into a Google form. So this website will be shared with you in the future, but the first tool I want to show you is going to convert your Schoology assessments into a Google form. For this tool to work, you need to give permission for my code to run. So if you scroll down here, you're not going to see the tool like I'm showing you right now. You're going to see something like this. And the code's unverified because Google doesn't know this code. I'm the one that wrote the code, so they're not aware of this. So you need to give permission for my code to run and save Google Forms to your Google Drive. That's the only thing you're giving permission to. This is going to be confidential. It's going to keep all of the security of Google Drive and your files, everything secure. Once you're ready, you're going to scroll down here, and we have this button here, Upload IMSCC file. So we're going to click here. You're going to find the file that you want to bring in. So to show you an example, this first one actually is an entire folder full of Into the Wild quizzes. So with one click, I can come to the top and I can click Create Google Form. Now there are some shortcomings. If you look at the question types, there's short answer, true and false. It's only going to be able to bring in the question types that a Google form knows. So multiple choice, short answer, all those things. But it's only going to be able to use the exact question types that Google Forms has, because it needs to know what kind of question to turn it into or to send it to. One advantage though is that you can see that all of the assessments are separated here, and then I can click this button and bring in another one. Now to show you an example, this is going to be a Schoology Advanced question type, and this one doesn't really work. It's got pictures and stuff, and that's not really the tool to use for this one. GetMarked is going to be a better solution for that one. But notice that I can bring in lots of old quizzes and tests, and this tool is going to understand what's inside, and it's going to be able to create a Google form from it. Another thing that my tool can do is it can retrieve files that are inside of your Schoology assessment. All right, so what do I mean by that? Here's my Schoology assessment file retrieval tool. So if I upload another IMSCC file, What this will do is anything that I have inside of it, like images and video and audio, it'll be able to find those files and give me a download button to get those pictures and audio back out of that IMSCC file. Another thing that my tools can do is that we can separate your assessments and get them better ready for Get Marked. So to show you that in action, if I go to the Schoology Export Explorer and if I upload an IMSCC file here, what this is going to do is this is going to give me all the assessments that I load in, and then inside I'm going to have options. So I can export this one as an individual IMSCC file, which you may find easier on Get Marked. I can click this button to copy the text of this question. I can scroll through and do the same for multiple questions, and I also have the button down here where I can generate a PDF and print it. Once I print this, I would change my option here to Save as PDF. And that's going to give me a PDF version of my assessment that I took from Schoology and then converted now through my tool. Again, we're only talking about tests, quizzes, and assessments for this. For the other material types, we're going to need to use different tools to ensure that we can continue to do them in the future. So the purpose of this video was just to explain the different export tools that I've made along with Get Marked that's going to allow us to convert and use our Schoology assessments into the future. Thanks, and have a great day.